I've been thinking a lot about how to start this video. Part of me thought, should I just throw a bunch of information at you, facts, studies, frameworks, and I could. But honestly, that's not what most people need. We live in an age of information. You can ask ChatGPT how to build a habit, and in seconds, you will get a full list of tactics. You can Google it and find endless books, podcasts, and articles. You can memorize every framework out there and still stuck. That's something I talked about in my first video. The problem isn't that people don't know what habits are. The problem is they never actually face their life. They hide behind information hoping it will save them, but information doesn't do the heavy lifting. What matters is courage. Courage to stop lying to yourself. Courage to quit the habits you know are destroying you. Courage to step into the discomfort that comes with change. So this won't be another how-to video. Instead, I will take you through my journey, how I went from being someone who couldn't run a single mile to running 21 miles with ease. So I hope my story gives you something real and maybe inspire you a little. So grab your cup of coffee and let's dig in. Most people get change completely wrong. They think it comes from one big action, one dramatic decision, one huge breakthrough, but that's not how it works. The truth is, it's the small, boring actions you repeat every single day that actually shift the direction of your life. That's the compound effect, my friend. Just think about it for a second. One workout won't change your body. One clear meal won't transform your health. One focused day of work won't make you successful. But string those small actions together over weeks and months, and suddenly you've built momentum. That's feel unstoppable. The compound effects makes the small look insignificant in the moment, but powerful in the long run. And here's where people go wrong. They treat discipline like punishment. They think it's about forcing yourself, grinding harder, pushing until you break. That's why so many quit, because you can't really rely on sheer force forever. Willpower burns out. And habits, most people see them as ragged rules that box in your life. So instead of embracing them, they resist them. But that's the real misconception. Discipline isn't about force, it's about alignment. Habits aren't cages, they systems. They don't trap you, they free you. When you focus on small, consistent actions, discipline becomes automatic. Habits become identity. That's why most people fail. Not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, because they fight the wrong battle. They're trying to win with willpower when the real game is consistency. 5 years ago, I hit rock bottom. I was fat as fuck. Then COVID hit and I got locked at home for a month. My weight shot up like never before. My face was swollen, bloated. I barely recognize myself. I don't even know if those pictures are still on my Instagram, but I remember looking at the mirror and thinking, that's not me. I was frustrated, I was ashamed, angry at myself. But I didn't change. I kept eating junk food, kept staying up late, kept doing the same shit that got me there. And that's the worst feeling. Not just being overweight, but knowing you're not doing a damn thing about it. I remember back then I was wearing the mask everywhere, not because I was afraid of COVID, but because I couldn't stand on my face. Every time I saw my reflection, I got more disgusted, more disconnected from the man I know I was supposed to be. Eventually I snapped and I asked myself, for how fucking long are you gonna wait? How long are you going to hope something magically fixes your life? Because nobody's coming, nobody cares, no one gonna save you. If you ask your mom I'm overweight, she will say no because she loves you. But you know the truth, deep down you know you're weak, you know you're overweight. And I will never forget the day that I tried to do one push-up, just one fucking push-up. My arms were shaking as fuck. I could barely push myself off the floor. I even filmed it, but I was so embarrassed that I deleted right away. That's how crashed my confidence was. That's what relying on willpower looked like for me back then. I'd woke up saying today is the day I change, but by evening I was back on the couch eating crap. I thought I could force myself into discipline, and every time I failed, I lost more respect for myself. Inconsistency broke me down more than the weight itself. The worst part wasn't the weight, it was knowing I couldn't trust myself. Every time I promised change and I broke it, I lost a piece of my own respect, and that's the hardest prison to live in. Not the body you hate, but the mind that doesn't believe a word you say. If your own word means nothing to you, then you're finished before you even start. How can you expect discipline, success, or respect from anyone else when you can't even respect yourself? At some point you have to wake up and realize no one's coming to save you. Either you keep lying to yourself until there's nothing left, or you decide today that your word will finally mean something again. And remember this, you will remain the same until the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change. And if you're still sitting there waiting for the right time, then here's this. Nothing changed, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. You will just keep rooting the same body, the same mind, the same lies because you'd rather stay comfortable than face yourself. Every habit you repeat is a vote for the man you want to be or the man you're trying to escape. Most guys think habits are just routines, something you do, but they're not natural. Every rap, every choice is shaping your identity. You're either feeding the man you admire or feeding the man you hate. Just think about it. Most people set goals, they write them down, visualize the body, the money, the life, but their action don't match. They say they want to be disciplined, focused, successful, then they binge Netflix, crushing junk food and stay up till 3 a.m. That's not just wasting time, it's casting void for the weaker version of you. The lazy, distracted, overweight you. The one that you can't even look at in the mirror. And if you keep voting for that version, he wins. He takes over. That man becomes your identity. Because repetition is what writes identity into your brain. You don't just do those habits, you become them. But the opposite is also true. Every time you act in alignment with the man you want to be, you strengthen him, you feed him, you make him real. I will give you an example of my own life. There are days when I feel dead, tired, dizzy, sluggish, sick, no energy at all. On those days, the last thing I want to do is train. But that's exactly the moment where identity is built. That's when I tell myself, just show up. Don't think about crashing the workout. Don't think about breaking BRs. Just put on the shoes. Just get to the gym. Just stretch a little bit. Just do one rep, then another, and voila. By the end of that workout, I'm on fire, sweating, focused, strong. I walk out of the gym saying, damn, we did it. And that does something deeper than just building muscles. It builds trust in myself. That's how I go through life. Do what I said I was going to do. Keep my word, never break momentum. That's a void for the man I want to be. The treadmill has taught me this lesson over and over. Sometimes I step on it with low energy, and before I even start, my mind is already negotiating with me. Don't do it, skip today, you're too tired. But here's what I do. I track my brain. I say, fine, we don't have to run 10 miles today. Just do 2. So I start running, then I hit 2 and think, wait, that wasn't so bad, so let's push for 5. So I hit 5 and say to myself, B, you're already halfway now. Just keep going, finish that 10. And before I know it, I've crashed the full distance. That's the power of momentum. That's the power of casting voids in real time. Because I'd rather die on the treadmill than die lazy on the couch. When you close the apps instead of scrolling, that's a void. When you write one page even when it sucks, that's a void. You keep the promise to wake up at the time you said you would, that's a void. It may not feel big in the moment, but those voids stack up, they compound, and over time, they create momentum for the stronger version of you, the one who honors his own word, the one you actually respect. What most people don't get is your brain doesn't care whether you program weakness or greatness. It doesn't care if you repeat scrolling or repeat training. It doesn't care if you rehearse excuses or rehearse discipline. It just wires whatever you do the most. That's why you can't lie to yourself about just one more time skipping the gym, one more time breaking your diet, one more time staying up late, because every time counts. Every time is a void, and those voids adds up. They create grooves in your brain, they build automatic pathways leading you closer to the man you admire or deeper into the prison of the man you hate. So the real question is this: when you look at your actions today, who are you voting for? The man who disgusts you, who breaks promises, who wastes his potential, or the man who wakes up with fire, building discipline, who earns his own respect? Every day, every choice, you cast in voids, and one of those men is going to win. Which one do you actually want to run in your life? Because that's where freedom lives. Not in doing whatever you feel like, but in doing what you must, regardless of how you feel. Feelings change. They will make you lazy when you're tired, undisciplined when it's hard, distracted when you're bored, but true freedom is moving forward when your body says stop. Staying focused when your mind drafts. Keeping your word no matter what. That's not punishment, that's power. That's discipline redefined. So, let me say one more time. Habits and discipline aren't about willpower. Force cracks, but identity and repetition, that's unshakable. Every action you take is a void. A void for who you're becoming. Not tomorrow, not someday, today, right now. That's why I'm challenging you. Pick one small habit. You can share it in the comments to build commitment. Just one, not 10, not 5. Something simple it's impossible to fail at. Wake up when you said you would. Do 10 push-ups. If you can't do 10, just do 1. Read 1 page, whatever it is. Do it today, then do it again tomorrow, and again, and again. Don't underestimate it, because that's how the old you dies. Not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 tiny choices. That's how the new you is built. Slowly, silently, void by void, until one day you wake up and realize, this is who I am now. The man you want to be is already inside you, just waiting for you to feed him, to vote for him. So cast your vote today, build momentum, build trust, build yourself, and never forget this: greatness isn't given, it's earned, one habit at a time. So, see you in the next one, and till then, I hope the best for you, my friend. See you. Peace.